So what was the connection between the mob and comedians?
Well, in 1933, when Prohibition ended, the mob, of course, controlled all these speakeasies. And in order to sort of salvage their investment, now that you can get booze anywhere, there was no allure for the speakeasy. So most of these speakeasies turned into legitimate nightclubs. And they put in stage shows, with a band and a singer and a dance team and a comedian. So most of the comedians of that era, for that reason, were working for the mob. And if you had some sort of moral objection and said you did not want to work for the mob, that's fine, but that meant you did not work. Because everywhere in America, it didn't matter if it was Philadelphia, Miami Beach, Chicago, New York, everywhere, the nightclubs, more often than not, were controlled by the mob. So that was your boss as a stand-up comic.
Oh, wow.
So, in fact, I interviewed an elderly comedian, a guy in his 90s, very obscure, named Dick Curtis, who claims that that is where the phrase stand-up comes from, that it is a mob term, because in those days they managed boxers as well, and if they had a boxer that they really liked who would stand up, take abuse, and keep punching, they called him a stand-up fighter. And
Wow.
a guy that the mob could rely on who would not snitch or rat them out was considered a stand-up guy. So a comedian that these mob clubs could depend on was called a stand-up comic.